Hello everyone, I am Dr. Preeti Khulbe and today we are going to discuss about regulatory affairs and worldwide regulatory bodies. I am Assistant Professor in Suresh Vihar University, Jaipur. So we have already discussed about the about the regulatory affair, what is the role of regulatory affair department, what is how the regulatory body works, what is the use of regulatory affair person. So we have already discussed all these things. Now the if we talk about the regulatory affair, so this is in the third unit of your B Farm 7th Sem Industrial Pharmacy 2 syllabus, and I have already uploaded 6 videos of regulatory affairs in this, and this is the 7th video of regulatory affairs. So if you want in detail related to the introduction of regulatory affairs, you can visit my first video. In second video of regulatory affairs, I have discussed about the US FDA, that is United States Food and Drug Administration, which is a regulatory body of the US. Then in my third and fourth video, I have covered the regulatory agency of Europe, that is EMA. After that, in fifth video, I have discussed about the MHRA as well as the UK regulatory body, as well as regulatory body of the other countries. In the sixth video, I have discussed about the regulatory body of Japan. So this type of and South Africa regulatory body we have also discussed in our last videos. So if you want that regulatory body, so you can visit that particular video. Now learning objective of this this unit is basically because it is related to the regulatory affairs. So the basic learning objective is to know the various considerations related to regulatory affairs, to know the legal issues related to regulatory bodies. So all the regulatory bodies and their related legal issues we will discuss here, as well as general considerations related to INDA, NDA, that is new drug application, investigational new drug application. All we will be discussing in this unit. The NDA, when to file NDA, when to file INDA, all these we will cover here in this unit. Now learning outcome is role of regulatory affair department, responsibility of regulatory affair, and all about the regulatory bodies. So basically if we talk about the role of regulatory department, so the basic role of regulatory affair department is to control the efficacy and safety of the of the product which is going to market, and the regulatory affair persons or regulatory affair department is only responsible for the only responsible for taking the marketing approval. So the marketing approval, if you want, so you have to involve the regulatory affair department in your company. And also if we talk about the responsibilities of regulatory affair person, so regulatory affair person responsibilities started from the beginning of the product formulation and it ends when after the consumption of the medication, that is post marketing. Also we need a regulatory affair department which can do the pharmacovigilance type of activity. Okay, so that means we can say that in roles and responsibilities, the regulatory affair department is needed for each and every company, either it is a small scale or large scale company. But the companies which are not having the very good brand name, and very small scale companies are do not have, we can say, the regulatory department in each and every manufacturing unit. So they generally place the regulatory department persons in the corporate office. So that is they also have the regulatory affair department, but in each and every small manufacturing unit, they are not appointing the persons. Okay. So now come to the very important topic, that is regulatory submission in India. As we are an Indian, so we should know that how we can submit the regulatory, submit the regulatory documentation in India, or how we can market a product in India. Either we are manufacturing our formulation in India or outside the India. So what are the provisions? How we can market our product in India, or how we can deal with the regulatory guidelines of India? All we will discuss here in this slide. So first of all, local or domestic market. So registration of products in our own country, India, for selling to local market. Okay, so how we can, first thing is that we can register the product in our own product in India for the selling to the local market. Second is the regulatory authority, FDA is there, and third is the reference, that is Drug and Cosmetic Act 1940 and Rule 1945. So if you are making any formulation, so you should follow the Drug and Cosmetic Act. The regulatory authority, FDA, if any food product or any product should follow the guidelines provided by the FDA, and we can make and sell our product in the local market. Now, regulatory bodies governing and controlling clinical trials. So which is the regulatory body which governs all the clinical trials in the India? So the regulatory body is the Drug Controller General of India, that is DCGI, and Directorate General of Health Services, that is DGHS, is there, which is worked under the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, and it is located in the Delhi. That is, its sub parties are there, but main head office of DCGI and DGHS is located in the Delhi. Okay, so we can say that for in India, the main regulatory body, or the regulatory body which governs the controlling of the clinical trials, it is a DCGI or DGHS, and DCGI as well as DCHS has the head office in Delhi, and the ministry, it worked under the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, MHFW के अंदर ही ये काम करेगा. Okay, now you should know the full form, as I have always saying that you should know the full form also related to the regulatory authorities. So like if we call the MHRA, so you should know the full form of MHRA, right? Similarly, the DCGI, if we are talking about DCGI and DGHS, so you should know that the full form of DCGI is Drug Controller General of India, and that is the DGHS is Directorate General of Health Services. Next is local domestic market, new molecules. If new molecule is there, so local domestic market should take the permission from the DCGI first, and they should follow the DNC rules and regulations and act related to the manufacturing and registration of all new products in own country India for selling to local market. It is essential. Okay, so that is we have in the first slide we have discussed about the about the local or domestic market for the selling of the product which is already approved. Okay, so if the product is already approved, you just need the FDA certification for selling the product in the local market, and you need to follow the Drug and Cosmetic Act as well as Rules 1945. Okay, similarly if the new molecule is there, so you have to first take the approval from the DCGI, that is Drug Controller General of India, Delhi, and then you can and you have to register for the new product sale, and you have to follow the Drug and Cosmetic Act and Rules 1945. Now, global harmonization initiative. So, what is this global harmonization initiative? As the name suggests, something globally is there. Okay, so global harmonization initiative is ICH basically. So, what is ICH? Okay, we have, you all must have heard about ICH. ICH, when we talk about ICH, the second thing which comes in our mind is stability, because we all have, studied the stability studies, and we all know that the guidelines which are there for the stability study is related to the ICH. Okay, so that is ICH. What is ICH? ICH is related to the stability studies. These are basically a guidelines, or we can say it is a harmonization, or it is a council. Okay, so here the question answer is, what is ICH? So, International Council on Harmonization. So, what is the full form of ICH? ICH full form is International Council on Harmonization. It is a technical requirement for registration of pharmaceuticals for human use. Okay, so if we talk about the global harmonization, globally अगर हम बात करें, so the ICH is there, and it provides the technical requirement for the registration of pharmaceuticals for the human use. Okay, ICH is a joint initiative involving both regulators and research-based industry, representative of the EU, Japan and US in scientific and technical discussion of the testing procedure required to ensure access and ensure the safety, quality and efficacy of the medicine. Okay, so this is very important thing, that this ICH is not a single country regulatory body, but it is a joint initiative, and the representative of this ICH, that is the we can say the members which are involved in the initiative of the ICH. The countries which are involved are EU, that is European Union, Japan as well as the United States, that is US. So EU, Japan and US are three countries which are involved in the ICH. Okay, and in scientific, and it basically work on the this ICH is basically work for the insurance of safety, quality and efficacy of the medication, and for this there is a scientific and technical discussion between the EU, Japan and US persons are there, and they are discussing of the testing procedures which are required for the access of the medication, so that we can ensure the safety, quality and efficacy of that particular thing. Now, ICH structure and organization, as we have discussed that three countries are involved. So what is the, we can say the how we can see the structure and organization. So 6 official parties, that is co-sponsors, directly involved in it. Okay, what are those 6? So here we can see that authorities and research based industries are there. So in this the first one is the Europe, so European Commission or European Union, we say European Commission plus EMA plus CHMP members. Okay, this is in in EU. EFPIA is there, that is European Federation Pharmaceutical Industries and an association is there in Europe, which is a part of ICH, or which is a sponsor of ICH. Next is the Japan. In Japan, MHLW is there. We have already discussed. Ministry of Health and Welfare is there. So in this JPMA is the association which work, or which is a co-sponsor of the ICH, and JPMA represents the Japanese Pharmaceutical Manufacturing Association. Okay, Similarly, USA is there. In USA, FDA is the main thing, and US FDA, that is United States Food and Drug Administration, is there. And in US FDA, the association is PHRMA, that is Pharmaceutical Research and Manufacturing of America, is the association which work on the this ICH structure. Next is the official observers. So other than the three countries association, there are some official observers like WHO and European Free Trade Areas, Canada area health protection branches are also there. So three observers, official observers are there. WHO will observe, EFTA will observe, and Canadian health protection branches are observed. Next is interested parties also involved. So the parties which are there in the this structure and organization. So these interested parties involve pharmacopoeias, that is European pharmacopoeia, Japanese pharmacopoeia, USP. All these pharmacopoeias are involved, and other industry sectors like OTC and generics are involved in the ICH structure and organization. So here you can see that all the three countries which are there is totally involved with the specific association in the structure and organization of ICH. Now what is the purpose of ICH? So if we see the purpose of ICH, so the objective of ICH is to increase the international harmonization of technical requirement to ensure that safe, effective and high quality medicines are developed and registered in the most efficient and cost effective manner. Okay, so this is the basic aim, or we can say basic purpose of the ICH. What is the purpose? That the objective that it can it can increase the international harmonization. Also it can ensure the technical requirements that are used for the to develop the high quality medication. Either high quality means it should be highly safe, it should be highly effective, and it is most efficient. It should be most efficient, as well as it should available for the in a very cost effective manner. Okay, so this is the main purpose of International Conference on Harmonization, that is ICH, in which three countries are involved: EU, US and Japan. So ICH guideline. The ICH topics are divided into 4 major categories, and ICH topic codes are assigned according to these categories. Okay, so here we can say in ICH guideline 4 subcategories are there, or 4 major categories are there, and these categories are named as QSEM. Okay, so these only 4 categories, you have to remember it. Okay, so QSEM, Q represent the quality topics, S represents the safety topics, E represent the efficacy topic, as well as M represent the multidisciplinary topics, that is which are not covers in QSE, so they will come under the M. Okay, so Q, that is quality topic, that is those relating to chemical and pharmaceutical quality assurance, the stability testing, impurity testing, etc. S represent the safety topics, that is those relating to it to in vitro as well as and in vivo pre-clinical studies. So carcinogenicity testing, genotoxicity testing, etc. Now E represents the efficacy topic, that is those relating to the clinical studies in human subject, dose responsive studies, good clinical practices, etc. M represent the multidisciplinary topic, that is cross-cutting topics which do not fit the uniquely into one of the above categories, and like MedDRA, you know, ESTRI, M3, CTD, M5. So all these will cover in the M topic. Okay, so this the main thing is that there are four topics, and you should know all the four topics, that QSEM, Q quality, S safety, M efficacy, and M multidisciplinary. Now the main topic which is there in the ICH is Q topic. Okay, so we have always study about the Q topic, because Q is related to the quality, and in any country, in any place, the main thing is the quality issue, that is quality topic. So in quality also there are multiple subsections are there. Okay, in this, the stability, analytical validation, impurity, pharmacopoeias, quality of biotechnological products, specification, good manufacturing practices, pharmaceutical development, quality risk management, pharmaceutical quality system, development and manufacturing of drug substances. So all these type of subtopics are there. Okay, so in this, the first one is like stability. So stability in the quality topic, stability comes in Q1A to Q1F section. Okay, there are some subsections. So Q1A to Q15 there is a stability. Similarly in Q2 there is an analytical validation. So if you want to study about the analytical validation in detail, so you can go for the ICH guideline Q2. Okay, ICH में Q section में 2 subsection में there is a analytical validation. Impurities are in Q3A to Q3C. In Q3D concept papers are there. Similarly in pharmacopoeias, Q4A and Q4B and annexes are covered. So if you want to see the pharmacopoeia, so Q4A to Q4B you have to visit. Now quality of biotechnological products are given in Q5A to Q5E. Okay, so biotechnological product if you are making, so and if you want to know about the how we can test the quality of that biotechnological product, what are the basic requirement of those products, so so you can go for the Q5A to Q5E subparts. Similarly, if you want to see the specifications, so you have to visit the Q6A to Q6B. Good manufacturing practices are very essential thing to maintain the quality of the product. So in case of good manufacturing practices, you have to see the Q7. Quality development, pharmaceutical development is done comes under the Q8. Similarly, quality risk management is there in Q9. Pharmaceutical quality system is in Q10, and development and manufacturing drug substances is there in Q11. Okay, so that is Q11 tak ke things are there, that is in stability Q1 to Q1F, A to F is there, Q2 is there, Q3, Q4, Q5, Q6, Q7, Q8, Q9, Q10 and Q11 tak there are things. And in Q11, development and manufacturing of drug substances guidelines are given. So if you want to develop, if you want to make, manufacture any drug substance, so you can visit the guidelines which are there in the ICH topic Q subtopic 11. Now next is the efficacy topic. Okay, Q for quality, E for efficacy. So we have discussed that we have to maintain the quality and efficacy. So efficacy topic E1, E2, E3, E4, E5, E6, E7, E8, E9, E10, E11, E12, E14, 13 is not there, 14, 15 and 16. So these subtopics are there. So what they cover we'll discuss. E1 covers the extent of population exposure to access the clinical safety for drugs intended for long-term treatment of non-life threatening conditions. Similarly, E2A represents the clinical safety data management, definition and standards for expedited reporting. Similarly, in E3 represent the structure and content of the clinical study report. E4 is there, which represents the dose response information in support drug registration. In E5 R1 section, E5 may be R1 section it is there, which shows the ethnic factors in the accessibility of foreign clinical data. E6 has shown the good clinical practices like consolidated guidelines. E7 is there, which shows the studies in support of special populations like geriatrics. In E8, journal considerations for clinical trials are there. In E9, statistical principles for the clinical trials are there. In E10, choice of control group and related issues in clinical trials are there. Similarly, in E11, clinical investigations of medicinal products in the pediatric population are given. So, if there is a pediatric population and you are making the medicinal products for it, so you can visit for the E11. In this, the clinical investigations and medicinal products in the pediatric populations are given. Okay, so similarly, the in E12, principles for the clinical evaluation of new antihypertensive drugs are given. In E14, the clinical evaluation of QT-QTc interval prolongation and pro-arrhythmic potential for non-arrhythmic drugs are given. Similarly, in E15, definitions for genomic biomarkers, pharmacogenomics, pharmacogenetics, genomic data, and sample coding categories are mentioned. In last, that is E16, the genomic biomarkers related to drug responses, context, structure, and format of qualification submissions are given. So here you can see that in efficacy topic also there are many sections. There are many sections, or we can say there are many subsections are there in which the subsections are from E1 to E16. So there are too much subsections, and you can select the you can read out and you can pay attention on the subsection which is you require. Okay. Next topic is the M topic, that is multidisciplinary guideline. So M multidisciplinary guideline cover M1, that is MedDRA. It has all the medical terminology. Medical terminology it is given in the M1 MedDRA. Similarly, M2 ESTRI. In this, the electronic standards for the transfer of regulatory information. So if you want to transfer any regulatory information and you are using any electronic thing, so you have to read this E2 section, M2 section of multidisciplinary topic. Now M3R2, that is in this the non-clinical safety studies for the conduct of human clinical trial. Okay, so if you are conducting any human clinical trial, so non-clinical safety studies जो आपको करनी होती है, as well as the marketing authorization of pharmaceuticals. So these all are comes under the M3R2. So that is if you want to perform any if you want to conduct human clinical trial study and the marketing authorization of the pharmaceuticals, so you have to you have to see the topic M, that is multidisciplinary guidelines, and in this the non-clinical safety studies for the conduct of human clinical trials and marketing authorization for pharmaceuticals are mentioned. Now M4 CTD, in this common technical documents, how the technical documents are formed, what are the contents of common technical documents, all are mentioned in the M4 CTD. Similarly, M5 is there. So in this, the data elements and standards of drug dictionaries are given in the M5. So here you can see in the multidisciplinary also there are five subsections in which from which M1 to M5 is there, and in which different these are specific to different type of guidelines. Now, a very important thing that ICH now and in the future, ICHs. So, new areas to develop the ICH guidelines. The new areas where the ICH guideline is developing, first one is the post-marketing pharmacovigilance. As we have discussed that in pharmacovigilance, that is pharmacovigilance is done after the marketing of the drug. That is, if the drug reaches to the market and it is exposed to so many people, then there is a market survey which is known as the post-marketing pharmacovigilance. So for this, no ICH guideline is there. So new area is it is actually developing. Similarly, in pharmacogenomics also, the ICH is developing its guideline in pharmacogenomics also. Then in case of biomarkers, also there is no guideline which are related to the biomarkers in the ICH, so they are also developing it. As well as in gene therapy, because it is a novel therapy, so ICH is also developing the guideline related to the gene therapy. Okay, so these are the new areas which is ICH is working: post-marketing pharmacovigilance, pharmacogenomics, biomarkers, and gene therapy. Next is the continued harmonization, prevention of new integrational disharmony. Now, avoid unilateral development of requirements in a specific area is the main prevention of new interregional disharmonies. Now, globalizing ICH. So ICH Global Corporation Group, that is GCG Global Corporation Group, it is representative from other regional harmonization initiatives are there in this, like APC, Asian, GCC, Pandra, and SADC. That all are the representative from other regional harmonization initiatives. APEC are Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation. Asians के बारे में we have already discussed a lot. So Association of the Southeast Asian Nation. GCC is the Gulf Cooperation Council. Pandora is Pan America Network for Drug Regulatory Harmonization. SADC is the Southern American Development Community. Evaluation in ICH and understanding that some non-ICH countries are now major contributor and consumers to the global pharmaceutical market. So there is a globalization of ICH is needed. Now, regulators forum. So it has ICH has started its regulators forum in 2008. It includes the representative from Australia, Brazil, China, Taiwan, India, Russia, Singapore, and South Korea, and most of which are not part of harmonization initiatives already. So key areas of focus in this regulators forum are API, GMP, clinical trials, and pharmacovigilance. Okay, so the basic thing is that the globalization of ICH is very important, because many countries are there which are not the part of the harmonization initially, but now they are taking interest on it. Like India is one of them, which is in the which is following the ICH guideline, which is not a part of harmonization initiatives, or first in the starting. So we can say that in That's why, due to this also, this only they have started their regulators forum, and in this the multiple countries have involved. In India is one of them. Other than that, South Korea, Singapore, Russia, India, Taiwan, China, Brazil and Australia all are there, and most of which are not part of harmonization initiatives already. And key areas which is which they focus on their regulators forum are API, GMP, active pharmaceutical ingredients, how we can procure it, how we can test it, how we can check and maintain the quality of that API. Then GMP, that is good manufacturing practices, what is the need, how we can follow it, similar like that. Similarly, clinical trials, what to conduct, why to conduct, how to conduct, or are there. Pharmacovigilance, as we have discussed also, that it is there in the regulator forum, but in this the ICH guidelines are, ICH is for starting the making guidelines related to pharmacovigilance. Now various links here I have given so that you can see the detailed thing matter related to the guidelines. We have discussed the guideline of USA, that is United States Food and Drug Administration. So if you want to know in detail about the US FDA guideline, so first if you want to see the US FDA related video, so it is there in the I have made the second which is regulatory affairs chapter second, in this US FDA के बारे में I have discussed in detail. Other than that, if you want the more detail related to the US FDA, so you can visit this website http://www.fda.gov.gov/. If in Europe, we have discussed that Europe's guideline is the European Agency or EMEA, that is the agency for the European Medicine Evaluation Agency. So this EMEA, the European Agency for the Evaluation of the Medicinal Products. So the link is http://www.emea.europa.eu/. So this is the guideline for Canadian Health Canada, the http www.hc.gc.ca/mps/index-eng.php is there. So if you want to read in detail about the Canadian guidelines, so you can visit this website. In South Africa, the MCC is there, that is Medicine Control Council. So for MCC, http://www.mccza.com/ you can visit this website. In this website you will have all the necessary information related to the MCC guideline. Now United Kingdom, UK, we have discussed that the regulatory body of UK is the MHRA. So in this the medicine, the full form is Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency. So for to know in detail about the MHRA, you can visit its website, that is http://www.mhra.gov.uk/. Okay, so these are the websites, the basic websites we can say, by which you can directly visit the related guidelines of that particular country. And other than that, if you do not want to go there, so you can also, or if you want the guideline from some another country like Australia, I have not mentioned here. So if you want to know about Australian guideline, so you can just type on Google, search on Google, and Google will tell you all about this guideline. Now Australia, it is there. If you want to if you want to see about the guideline of New Zealand, so in New Zealand, Medicine and Medical Devices Safety Authority. It is there, MedSafe. So for this, the link is the http double colon double black slash this www.medsafe.gov.nz and backslash. Similarly, for Australia, TG is there, that is Therapeutic Goods Administration. In this, the website is the link is http colon double black slash www.tga.gov.au backslash. Similarly, for Brazil, Anvisa is there. In this, the http colon double backslash www.anvisa.gov.br backslash eng backslash legis backslash index.htm hashtag 6. So this is the whole website link for the Brazil Anvisa. So these are the references. So as I have told you that if you want to go in detail related to the guideline, you can go just check out these links. And if you want detail related to the basics of the regulatory affairs, you can visit my video. I have already posted the 6th video related to this, and this is the 7th one. So now we are talking about the objective questions. So full PSMF is to be provided in how many days of request? So answer is either it is 7, 10, 5 or 12. So answer is A, that is 7. So if you want the full PSMF, so you have to wait for 7 days. Now marketing authorization application for new drug in EU, that is European Union, is related to PSMF, MSS, RMT and DCGI. So because here the talk is related to the EU, that is European Union, question is related to the European Union. So answer C is correct, that is RMT. Second is European Union regulatory system has how many volumes? So it is 5, 3, 10 or 12. So answer 10 is correct, that is C, that is European Union regulatory system has the 10 volumes. Next is in European Union regulatory system guidelines for clinical trial is related to the volume number. So answer is 10, 8, 7 or 5. So answer A is correct, that is 10. So in European Union regulatory system guidelines for the clinical trials related to the volume number 10. Now in marketing authorizations variations, the major changes takes how many days for evaluation? 30, 40, 50 or 60. So in marketing authorization variations of the major change here, you have to see this major changes it is given. If it is in minor changes, so you can go for 30, but because it is major change, so the answer will be 60. Now DGHS stands for, so it stands for the Directorate General of Health Services, Directorate General of Healthy Society, Directorate General of Human Society, Directorate General of Human Services. So the answer A is correct, that is DGHS represents the Directorate General of Health Services. Next is the regulatory bodies governing and controlling clinical trials, DGHS, DCGI, MHFW or all mentioned. So answer D is correct, that is all mentioned. So regulatory bodies governing and controlling the clinical trial, DGHS is there, DCGI is there, MHFW is there. Next is drug and cosmetic act enforced in the year 1945, 1942, 1940 and 1947. So the answer C is correct, that is 1940. Here I have mentioned that here I want to mention that the Drug and Cosmetic Act is enforced in 1940, whereas the drug and cosmetic rules are there in the 1945, are started in 1945. Next is ICH is related to EU, Japan and the US. EU, Japan and the US are all mentioned. So answer A is correct. Answer C is correct. That is EU, Japan and the US. So the ICH is related to the EU, Japan and the US is the right answer. So please, I need to correct it. The answer C is correct. Next is what is not involved in ICH: EMA, MHLW, FDA or MHRA. So answer D is correct, that is MHRA, because EU, US and UK का तो EU, US and Japan की तो is there, but MHRA is UK का, तो UK is not there in ICH, so that means answer D is correct. Thanks for watching. This is all about today's video related to the regulatory body and worldwide regulatory body. So thanks for watching.